Hello, everybody, and welcome to StopStrugglingNow.com. I'm your host, Eric Bird, and today it's Authorized User Tradelines Day. If you need to improve your credit dramatically, quickly, well, here we go. You can get in on this starting as soon as the 15th of the month. We only have a couple of spots left, so I wouldn't take too long to figure it out. If you want to order, you can see our email address down here, and we also do credit sweeps. So please like, subscribe, and click on the bell so you get the updates. Before we get into the authorized user trade lines, which will be at the end, I figured I'd go over a little thing from some charts here. You can see the total consumer credit debt has risen over the last 10 years. It's gotten up there so high that it's ridiculous, and this is why I basically concentrate on getting your credit in order, because this is all a house of cards. And as you can see, when you combine everything, we're talking about trillions of dollars of debt for the U.S. population. So the better your credit is when there's a financial crisis, the more that you will be able to accumulate during that time. And what you're trying to accumulate are assets that produce income. So as you can see, the mortgage interest rates, ever since starting in January of 2016 to 2017, they were only around 3.9 to 4.0. But as you can see, over the last year and a half, we're way up to 4.6 now, and actually it's 5.0 since March of 8th. Now we're in August. It's went up a few more points. So there's going to be a credit crunch in our society, and those who have bad credit are going to end up paying for this crash. And the U.S. inflation rate, so some of you may have gotten your cost of living increases of 3%, 2%. As you can see, the inflation rate in the United States is 2.8, 2.9. For all intents and purposes, 3%. So if you're not earning 3% or more, that means you're losing value on your money. So this is why sometimes you have to invest in other assets, and please see the previous videos for that. But back to the authorized user trade lines. This is something that can help boost your credit score, but you have to understand, you have to have your credit pretty decent as it is. These lines of credit are only going to be on your credit report for 2 months, 2 cycles, so to speak. So if it posts on the 20th of the month of August, then it's going to post on the 20th of the month in September. So that means that's going to be your 2 months. It's going to go August 20th through September 20th, September 20th, through October 20th. And sometimes we can extend it. But again, there's only 2 or 3 spots per trade line shown. And what you typically want to do is you want to, for different reasons, you want to try and get the longer trade lines, meaning the years. But if you're trying to buy a house or apartments or things of that nature, then length of time doesn't matter. And you also want to have your credit pretty decent. In other words, you can have debt, you can have certain things on there, and the purpose of an authorized user trade line is to reduce your debt to income ratio, your debt utilization. This could have a high impact on it. So this is why this is a quick way that you can move it up within 30 to 45 days. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, that we do credit sweeps. So if you're trying to clean up your credit and you don't want to do it personally, I mean, there's all kind of information online, then this is one of the rare moments that we try to help you out. We can do things in a timely manner, 30, 45 days, but let's get an understanding. Generally, when you try to take something off your credit report, the first time you do it, they have 30 to 45 days to respond to you in the first place. So a lot of people saying we can do this in 30 days, 45 days, 60 days even, that's sometimes far-fetched. So this is why you notice I put 3 to 6 months. I'm not going to promise anything that's going to be crazy, because somebody could call up and say, hey, why did it take 2 months when you said it was only going to take 30 days. So in this case, we can go out to 6 months, and if it happens before 3 months, happens before 2 months, so be it. But we can start cleaning up your credit, and you can get these trade lines, and it'll be a double boost to your credit score once things remove and the trade lines are there, and then that they season up a little bit on your report, then you get a boost. So don't let anybody deter you from getting an authorized user trade line, but you have to understand what that is. That means you do not have the ability to go out and charge anything. This just means a person is generous enough to add you onto their credit line, and you do not receive a card. You do not receive any information. All you get is on your credit report are these trade lines, and these are the costs on the far right. And again, I would suggest, if you are interested in this, that you email me right away. These can post this month, so you can get your credit boosted up by the end of this month for all intents and purposes. So remember, the top 3 things that you need to do is your debt utilization, which is debt to income almost. So you want to keep it under 9% if possible. So if you owe if you have a credit card of $1,000, you want to make sure that you only owe $99 or less. Okay, to keep it simple. If you're under 29%, that's fine. Your credit score, has a positive impact. But I say keep it under 9%. In fact, keep it under 5% if you can. So those are the kind of things you want to do. And remember, adding an additional account, this will count as an additional account. So remember, if you have 11 different variety of credit cards or credit items, it could be a car, a house, credit cards, as long as you have a mixture of 11 or more, that also helps your credit score. All right. So I've talked about this in a previous video when I had the increase your credit score within 45 days or less, where you can add your own primary trade lines. An authorized user trade line is not a primary. That's not something that you personally hold. Primary trade line is one that you actually use and get in your own name with your credit score or not credit score. And I got to make an update, because from the previous video, New Coast Direct, who does a primary trade line, they do check your credit now. I believe it was TransUnion that they checked, and Experian. So you might have a temporary 3 to 10 point loss, but because they give you a $5,000 trade line, it will boost up in 2 or 3 months. So that's not a major hit. If you can just add more primary trade lines, that's not a bad hit. So this is all I want to discuss today. Improve your credit score within 45 to 60 days still. This is a way you can increase your credit score within 30 days actually, if you have your credit right. You cannot have a whole bunch of negatives. So that will not make this effective. You want to pretty much have a decent credit score already, and then you don't want to have negatives, and you just want to add it in there. So but you can email me at the au@stopstrugglingnow.com and discuss the matter. But like I said, I wouldn't wait too long, because we can post these, as you can see, as soon as the 15th of the month. There's one on the 19th, the 15th, the 16th. And a high score like Barclays for the amount of 550, that's pretty inexpensive. And all these are actually pretty inexpensive for what you get. So again, thank you for listening. Keep your head up and stay tuned for more.